All right, Reddit. I need to get this out because I've been sitting on this for 2 weeks and I'm about to lose it. I'm 26M, been with Zoe for almost 2 years. We met through her cousin Miriam, who is my coworker at a distribution center. Mayam always talked about how Zoe was this sweet girl who needed someone stable after her last relationship. Looking back, stable apparently meant someone who pays all the bills while asking 0 questions. Quick context on our setup. When Zoe and I moved in together 8 months ago, she was trying to become a full-time Twitch streamer with maybe 200 followers. I told her she could focus entirely on building her channel while I covered rent, utilities, groceries, her phone, bill, her car insurance, basically everything. The deal was she'd contribute once streaming took off. Listen, I'm not going to roast this man for believing in his girlfriend's dream. That's actually beautiful in theory. You meet someone, you see potential, you invest. That's what partners do. But there's a difference between I believe in you and I will become your entire financial infrastructure while you figure out if this hobby works. 200 followers, 200. That's not a career trajectory. That's a group chat with strangers. And look, I've seen people blow up from nothing. It happens. But usually there's some kind of plan, some timeline, if this doesn't work by X date, I get a job. This man said, take all the time you need. I'll just be over here holding the entire economy of our household on my shoulders. No pressure. And here's what you need to understand. Zoe is objectively attractive, conventionally good-looking in that way where people double take. And I'm not that. Average at best, overweight, receding hairline at 26. My buddy Max told me early on the dynamic seemed off. He asked why a girl like her was suddenly interested in a guy like me. I told him to stop being negative. I wanted to believe she saw something others didn't. And this right here is the tragedy of it all. This man knew something was off. His friend Max saw it. He saw it. But he wanted so badly to be the exception to the rule that he talked himself out of his own instincts. And honestly, I get it. We've all been there. You meet someone who feels out of your league and your brain does this thing where it says, maybe I'm actually more valuable than I thought. Instead of, maybe I should ask some questions about why this is happening. Self-awareness without self-worth is a dangerous combination. He could accurately assess himself, but couldn't believe he deserved someone who actually wanted him, not his wallet. So, 2 weeks ago, Thursday, I finished work early and got home around 3:30. Her streaming room door was closed, but not fully shut. I could hear her talking and was about to push it open when I heard my name. Not in a good way. She was laughing, and I heard her say my actual name, followed by words I cannot get out of my head. Read it. I didn't just hear a snippet. I stood outside that door for almost 4 minutes listening to my girlfriend describe me to her chat in ways that made me realize I never knew this person at all. I'm not writing everything she said because what comes next matters more than specific words. What matters is I didn't storm in. I didn't confront her immediately. I did something else entirely. I went back outside silently, sat in my car for an hour, started thinking about every financial decision I'd made in this relationship. Every bill, every purchase for her, the promise I made 3 months ago about getting her a new car by summer, and I started making a plan. I'm posting because I need to know if I'm crazy for what I'm about to do. Mayam still works with me. Zoe doesn't. No, I heard anything. And I have information now that changes everything. Update coming soon because this situation is about to get complicated. 4 minutes. This man stood there for 4 minutes listening to the person he loves, the person he's been funding, tear him apart for entertainment, for content, for laughing emojis from strangers on the internet. And instead of reacting emotionally, which would have been completely justified, he went cold. He sat in that car and his brain switched from boyfriend mode to strategist mode. That's not crazy. That's someone who finally woke up and realized they've been playing a game they didn't even know they were in. When someone shows you who they are in a moment they think you'll never see, That's the realest version of them you'll ever get. Update 1. So, the comments on my last post were intense. Shout out to everyone who told me to clip the stream way ahead of you. Here's what I didn't mention before. When I was standing outside that door, listening to Zoe describe me as basically her personal ATM with legs, I had my phone in my hand and her stream was public. So, yeah, I opened Twitch on my phone, found her channel and screen recorded almost 4 minutes of my girlfriend calling me a pathetic, desperate ass who thinks he got lucky with her. Her exact words were that she settled for this loser because he pays all my bills and that her chat had seen my photo and would they date that. The chat was full of laughing emojis. Then she said something about 6 more months until I buy her a car and then she's trading up to someone actually worth her time. I have that clip saved in 3 different places now. Trading up. Trading up. This woman looked at the man paying her rent, her phone, her insurance, cooking her dinners, promising her a vehicle, and thought, "This is my stepping stone." She had an exit strategy while he was planning their future. And the audacity to do this on a public stream, that's not just disrespect. That's someone so comfortable in their manipulation that they've stopped even being careful about it. She really thought she was so untouchable, so secure in his devotion that she could mock him to strangers and nothing would ever come back to her. Hubris. Pure hubris. And it's about to be her downfall. But here's what's been happening since. For 2 weeks, I've been acting completely normal. And let me tell you, that has been the hardest performance of my entire life. Every morning, I wake up next to her and remember what she thinks of me. Every dinner I cook for us, I'm thinking about how she's just running out the clock until she gets her car. The thing is, acting normal gave me time to actually look at our situation clearly. The lease is in my name only. When we moved in, Zoe's credit was bad from some old collection, so I signed everything solo. Her name isn't on the apartment at all. The utilities, the internet, the renter's insurance, all me. Even her phone is on my plan because she said it was cheaper that way. Max came over last Saturday while Zoe was at her mom's place. I showed him the clip. He didn't say, "I told you so," which I appreciated. Instead, he asked me what I was planning to do. And Reddit, I laid it all out for him. Every detail of how dependent she is on me financially and how she has absolutely no idea that I know everything. Max is a real one. You know how hard it is to watch your friend get vindicated after you warned them and not say, "I told you so." That takes genuine love. He saw his friend hurting and chose support over being right. Protect your Maxes, everyone. But also, this man has been doing dinner theater for 2 weeks, cooking meals, saying goodnight, acting like everything's fine while his entire world is shattered. That takes a level of self-control most people don't have. Most of us would have snapped day 1, but he understood something important. In situations like this, information is power, and the element of surprise is everything. The complication is my Am. She's Zoe's cousin, but she's also been my friend at work for 3 years. Monday at the warehouse, she asked me if everything was okay because I seemed distracted. I couldn't tell her yet. Not until I'm ready to move. But here's what's pushing up my timeline. Last night, Zoe brought up the car again. She sat next to me on the couch and started talking about how her Honda's really struggling and maybe we should look at dealerships this weekend. She even mentioned a specific model she liked, a newer SUV, and said she found one at a lot 20 minutes away for around $28,000. She wants me to put a down payment on a $28,000 car while actively planning to leave me the moment it's paid off. I almost lost it right there. Almost pulled out my phone and showed her the clip, but I didn't because I have a better plan now. One that involves that lease with only my name on it, her entire financial dependency on me, and the fact that her family, including my Am, has no idea who she really is. This weekend is her mom's birthday party. The whole family will be there. I'm still deciding if that's when I make my move or if I wait longer. What would you do, Reddit? Pull the trigger at the party or keep playing the long game? $28,000. She really walked up to this man, sat next to him all cozy, probably touched his arm, did the whole performance, knowing full well she's planning to drive that car straight out of his life the second the keys are in her hand. The absolute sociopathic audacity of looking someone in the eyes and asking them to invest in your escape vehicle. And she's getting impatient about it. She's not even grateful for the grift. She's annoyed he isn't funding it faster. This is someone who has genuinely convinced themselves they deserve to exploit this man. That's the scariest part. She doesn't even feel guilty. Update 2. Reddit. I did not pull the trigger at the party, but something happened that changed everything. Her mom's birthday was Saturday. The whole family was there, including Mayam, Zoe's brother, Hector, aunts, uncles, the whole deal. I walked into that house, with the clip on my phone, ready to play for everyone. I had rehearsed it in my head 100 times. The look on Zoe's face when her whole family heard what she really thinks of me. But then her mom, Martha, pulled me aside in the kitchen. She grabbed my arm and told me how happy she was that Zoe finally found someone good. She said Zoe's last boyfriend, Ian, was terrible to her. Never worked, borrowed money constantly, and that I was such a breath of fresh air. Then she said something that made me actually pause. She said she hoped I knew how much Zoe had changed since meeting me, and that she talks about our future all the time. Our future, right? I almost showed Martha the clip right there. Almost asked her if this is what Zoe says about our future. But I held back because I realized something important. Zoe has been performing for her family too. They think she's this reformed woman who finally got her life together. They have no idea she's still the same person who dated a guy like Ian. She just got better at hiding it. And there it is. The full picture finally clicks into place. This isn't some good girl who went bad. This is someone who has always been running games. She just upgraded her technique. Ian was the obvious leech, the one everyone could see and warn her about. But Zoe learned from that relationship. She learned that if you want to use someone, you can't be obvious about it. You have to make them look good to everyone else. You have to perform gratitude, perform growth, perform love. Her family thinks she changed when really she just got better at hiding who she's always been. That's not growth. That's evolution of manipulation. So I smiled and told Martha I appreciated that. And I went back to the party and watched Zoe charm everyone while holding my hand like I was actually the man she loved. Here's the complication. At the party, Hector mentioned that Zoe told him I was looking at engagement rings. I have never said anything about engagement rings. Not once. But Zoe has apparently been telling her family that a proposal is coming soon. Probably to explain why her boyfriend would buy her a $28,000 car. That night when we got home, Zoe was extra affectionate. She thanked me for coming and said her family really loves me. Then she brought up the car again, saying she found another listing online and maybe we could go tomorrow. I told her I needed to think about it more. That a $28K purchase is a big deal and I want to make sure we do it right. She got quiet and asked what there was to think about. We had talked about this for months and I promised her. I said I never promised anything. I said I would consider it. That was the first real tension between us since I found out. She didn't yell, but she got cold, said she was going to bed early and walked away. She's telling her family he's ringing shopping. She's building an entire fictional engagement to justify a $28,000 purchase. This is premeditated fraud with extra steps. She's not just using him. She's constructing a whole narrative around their relationship to make her demands seem reasonable to outside observers. Of course, he bought me a car. We're getting married. That's her cover story already written. And the second he showed any hesitation about the car, cold shoulder. Punish the ATM for not dispensing fast enough. She's so used to getting what she wants that even a "let me think about it" feels like betrayal to her. Monday at work, Mayam approached me in the break room. She asked if Zoe and I had a fight because Zoe texted her complaining that I was being weird about the car. Mayam asked me directly if something was going on. I made a decision. I told Mayam I needed to show her something after our shift. something about Zoe that she needed to see before I did anything else. We're meeting at a diner near the warehouse tonight. I'm showing her the clip because when everything falls apart, I need at least one person in that family to know the truth before Zoe can spin her own version. Update coming after the conversation with Mayam. This is smart. This is chess, not checkers. Because what do manipulators do when they get caught? They run to everyone they know first and control the narrative. He's crazy. He's abusive. He's obsessed. With me. She would absolutely paint him as the villain the second things went south. But by getting Mayam on his side first with video evidence, he's cutting off her escape route. He's not just ending the relationship. He's making sure she can't. Rewrite history afterward. Protect your reputation, people. When you're dealing with someone who lies this easily, you need witnesses. Final update. Reddit, it's done, and I need to tell you everything. The diner meeting with Mayam went exactly how I needed it to. I showed her the clip on my phone. She watched the whole thing without saying a word. When it ended, she asked me when this happened, and I told her 3 weeks ago. She asked why I waited so long, and I explained that I needed someone in the family to see it before Zoe could twist the story. Miriam was angry, not at me. She told me she was the one who introduced us, and she felt responsible. She asked what. I was planning, and I told her everything. The lease being only in my name, the fact that Zoe has zero income and depends on me completely, and my plan to end this on my terms. Mayam agreed not to say anything to the family until I made my move. That was Tuesday. I went home and acted normal for 3 more days. Friday night, I told Zoe we needed to talk. I sat her down in the living room and I played the clip. Mayam. Feeling responsible for introducing them is such a human reaction. She tried to help her cousin find happiness and accidentally handed her a victim. That guilt is real, even though it's not her fault. You can't know someone is a predator when they're family and they've been fooling you too. But what matters is she did the right thing when the truth came out. She didn't defend Zoe because family. She didn't ask him to let it go. She said, "What do you need from me?" And she delivered. Loyalty to what's right over loyalty to blood. That's rare. She tried to grab my phone. I pulled it back. She immediately started saying it was taken out of context, that she was just joking around with her chat, that streamers say stuff like that all the time to be entertaining. I asked her if calling me a pathetic, desperate S was entertainment. She said I didn't understand how streaming worked and that she had to play a character. I told her she could play whatever character she wanted, but she wouldn't be doing it in my apartment anymore. That's when she realized what was actually happening. She switched tactics fast, started crying and saying she loved me, that she was stupid and immature on stream, but it wasn't how she really felt. I asked her about the car, about telling her family we were getting engaged, about using me as her personal wallet for 2 years. She denied the engagement thing at first, said Hector must have misunderstood. I told her Mayam already confirmed it and that the whole family would be seeing this clip by morning. Look at the speed of those gear changes. Deny, minimize. It's a character. You don't understand streaming. Then, when that doesn't work, tears, love bombing. I was stupid, but I love you. Then deny the lies when confronted with specifics. Then blame Hector for misunderstanding. Every single response is designed to make him doubt what he knows is true. That's not someone who got caught and feels guilty. That's someone running through every manipulation tactic in their playbook, trying to find the one that works. She's not apologizing. She's troubleshooting. That's when she got angry. She said I was being cruel and vindictive, that I was ruining her life over some dumb joke. She asked, what kind of man records his girlfriend and shows it to her family? I told her the kind of man who spent 2 years paying for everything while being mocked behind his back. She had 30 days to find somewhere else to live. I told her I'd already talked to my landlord and she wasn't on the lease, so legally she had no claim to stay. Her phone would be disconnected from my plan by Monday. The car situation was obviously dead. She tried one more angle. Said she had nowhere to go and that her mom's place was too small. I told her that sounded like a her problem now. My am sent. The clip to Martha and Hector Saturday morning. I know because Zoe's phone started blowing up while she was packing her stuff. She was crying and trying to explain to her mom that it wasn't real, that I manipulated the video, that I was crazy. But they had all seen it. Her own voice, her own words. What kind of man records his girlfriend? The kind who needed evidence, because he knew you'd lie. The kind who understood that without proof? He'd be the crazy, jealous boyfriend who couldn't handle his girl having a career. She's actually trying to flip this into him being the bad guy for having receipts, for protecting himself. That's the move of someone who has never faced real consequences. And then I have nowhere to go. After 2 years of free housing, free food, free phone, free insurance, you didn't save a single dollar. You had no backup plan because your backup plan was someone else's money. That's not his problem. That's the natural result of building your whole life on someone else's wallet. She moved out Sunday. Her brother Hector came to help her load boxes, and he couldn't even look at me. Not because he was mad at me, because he was embarrassed for his sister. 3 weeks later now, and she's still messaging me, begging me to talk, saying she was just joking with friends and please forgive her, asking me to please just answer. I haven't responded once and I'm not going to. ATM is closed permanently.